Hi, so this is day 4 of the book selling challenge. I'm going to try to make my video here outside, and hopefully it won't be too noisy, and hopefully they won't kick me out because I don't think I'm supposed to be filming in a hotel without permission. But this is book 4. The last 3 days we talked about positioning your book to sell. Then we talked about launching your book to #1 bestseller, which was yesterday. This is Day 4 is basically after your launch. So after you've published your book and you've put it up on Amazon, you've done all the stuff to make it a #1 bestseller, a month later, 2 months later, when your book isn't selling anymore, then what happens? Then what do you do? So this is the problem I see so much, especially in Facebook groups. A lot of authors, even really successful authors, are super frustrated because maybe they made a lot of money and they quit their job to write full time. And then Amazon changed something, and all of a sudden the algorithms don't give them the visibility that they need, and their books don't sell anymore. So they have to go back to get a day job, or suddenly the money that was coming in with Amazon that they thought was going to do really well, suddenly it's not there anymore, which is risky. And that's why a lot of people don't like putting all their eggs in the one basket, or they say you shouldn't depend on Amazon for your income. And there's always that risk when you're self-publishing. It is a difficult business in that you may have a great month and then something will change, it's out of your control, and your sales will dry up. That's a problem that a lot of authors are frustrated with. And the solution is not an easy solution, but what I like to focus on is building organic traffic to keep myself visible. And what that means by organic traffic, I mean my own website, my own blog, and specifically, rather than just, you want your book to be visible when people search for things on Amazon, you want your book to show up, and that's really important. But Amazon isn't the only place people search for things. They're going to go on Google and they're going to Google, best young adult thrillers with mermaids, for example, something like that. If they Google things like that, you need to know what they're searching for, and you need to have some content that shows up on the first page of Google so that they find you. That can be on your website. I generally try to have a content distribution strategy, which just means to show up on the first page of Google, you need, it's difficult to do if you just have your own website and if you're a new website who's just starting off, because Google will look at how much site authority your site has, which is a combination of how well your content matches what people are searching for, and also how many other people are linking back to your content. How many high authority sites are linking back to your content? Because Google has to make decisions. If there's 100 other bloggers who are blogging about best young adult mermaid books for teens, they're not going to show all of the content. They're going to pick the ones they think are the best fit for the people who are searching. So you want to make sure yours show up. The way to do that is to have a lot of backlinks from high authority websites. So you need to, and there's all this stuff that I see people asking a lot, like, what about this new website or that new website? Because there's all these websites that say, we will feature you, we do book promotion for authors, we'll feature you on our site for only $5 a month or $50 a month or whatever. A lot of those sites don't work because they're not reader focused. If it's just a random book promotion site that shows all these different random books, readers aren't going to hang out on those sites. The sites that you want to be on are content-specific sites. So if you write young adult dark fantasy, if you write thrillers, you want to be on the top 20 or 30 blogs that only show content about thrillers or about dark fantasy. You want to be on specific blogs. So avoid, and there's all these book promotion websites that do a lot of really heavy targeted ads, or they buy an email list and they start cold emailing, or they just look for books on Amazon, and then they contact you and say, hey, we would like to feature your book on our site for free. You sign up on their site, and then they try to upsell you to be featured for $50 or $100 for something else. There's a lot of stuff going on. They're not necessarily scams. They just don't work very well, and that's because most of those websites take anybody, so they have a bunch of random books with ugly covers, and their homepage is full of random books in different genres, which means specific readers who are looking for specific books in a category, they're not really going to hang out on those sites. They're going to be looking at genre-specific blogs and websites. So on the one hand, you want to have great content on your own website that shows up on Google, but you also want to you want to have your books and your content on those blogs and those websites that do show up. Because if you have a new blog or website, and this is why most authors hate blogging, is because they don't know what to write about and they're not getting any traffic. So they post random stuff, or they don't think like anybody's watching, or the people who are showing up on their website don't convert into buyers, and for a variety of reasons. A lot of that is site design. I can't talk about website design in this video, but I have other resources about specifically how to build an author website and what an author website should look like and what you need to have in what places. Mostly for author websites, I have said that I like very simple, white author websites without a lot of bells and whistles, without a lot of design, because the most important thing is getting people to your site. So if you have something with too many pretty pictures or too much graphics or too many, movies and special effects and stuff, it's going to load slower, which means one of the criteria that Google uses for selection is how fast your site loads. So you don't want to have a site that's too bulky or too slow. And you don't want to have it be too messy, and you don't want to have like 1,000 different options. You need to control the experience. So you need to very specifically, when people land on your site, they should know exactly who you are and what you write for, what genres or what topics you write for. So you need a very specific tagline or headline that makes that very clear. And you also need it to load quickly, and you need not so many options. So you need a couple options in your menu, in your sidebar, that drive them towards taking the action you want them to take, which is probably going to be signing up to your list. So don't give 1,000 options, give a couple main ones, and make your main option, like if your one main option is sign up to my list for a free book, that's your main offer. You want them to be big and clear to make it convert well. And then you would have your autoresponder series. In the workbook, I have something about an example autoresponder series, but I'm getting off topic because that's all depending on getting people to your site. And like I said, if you're not getting people to your site, if you're not getting a lot of traffic, it's not going to matter. So to get traffic, you need to be building content that matches what people are searching for. I've found that, and also you need to build content that people will link to, because like I said, the more links you have coming in from other blogs, the more likely Google is going to show off your link. So what you really have to do, and what I like to do, is something like 25 best young adult mermaid books, 25 best time travel novels for teens, which is basically just a collection of other books in your genre that you can feature on your site. Then you can email all those authors and say, I've just featured you on my site. Would you want to share it with your audience? You can send it on Twitter or Facebook and tag them. It's likely that they will share. This is also a really good opportunity for you to build a relationship with other authors in your genre. You're doing them a favor for free by featuring them. You can say, if you've built a list, you can say, I just built this piece of content. I'm going to share it to my list tomorrow. I have a few thousand people on my list. I'm hoping you'll do the same. And also, if you can get other people, you can tell them what you're doing is building this basically evergreen content that shows up in Google, and that it will help if they also link to the post you've built from their website. So if you get 25 authors to post a short article on their blog linking back to your post that features them and also share it on Facebook or Twitter, that's going to be a really good piece of content. Google will see all these links coming from, you want links from relevant sites, so you don't want to be on just wherever. You want other authors in your genre or other content-specific blogs that talk about your website, that talk about your genre. You want those kind of blogs linking back to you and your content because you want relevant links from other similar content. Google will see all that, and if you have something that really matches what people are searching for, and again, like, people aren't searching for you or your book or your, like, what you ate for breakfast today. So you really want to be writing about what people are searching for and focus on providing value that helps your readers. But if you do that, and you do that a lot, then Google will show that content, you'll get more traffic. Once you have, a couple hundred people coming to your site every day, you convert 20 of those on your email list and sell a couple books a day. That's really powerful long-term strategy without really doing any promotion. It takes time to set this stuff up. It takes time to build it, but once it's built, it'll just keep working and growing, and you'll get more and more traffic as time goes on. So you want to focus on building like really big, stable, long-term evergreen content. And also you want to do content distribution, which just means, like, if I build a great piece of content like 25 best mermaid books, I will also turn it into a PowerPoint. I'll put the PowerPoint on SlideShare, which is owned by LinkedIn. I'll make a YouTube video talking about or showing off the slides. I'll put that on YouTube. So if I have the same piece of content multiplied into different formats, and put on some of the major hubs of the internet on Facebook or Twitter or LinkedIn, YouTube. I think I have a list of them in the workbook, but there's some pretty easy things you can do. This is also something you can pay someone to do. If you have a virtual assistant, you can pay someone to do the research, build this content for you, distribute it on the internet, to basically be in a lot of places and show up in a lot of places where readers can find your content, and then hopefully they'll click back to your site and you'll have a content upgrade. So content upgrade just means if you have a really big piece of content, like 25 best mermaid books, at the bottom you could have an evergreen giveaway where you could say, I'm going to give away one of these books away every month if you sign up here to this contest. If you sign up to my email list or you sign up on this giveaway that you set up, every month you can give away 1 or 2 or 3 of those best mermaid books or best thriller books. That's a pretty good offer. So people will be continuously signing up to your list or your giveaway to try to win one of those best books that you've featured. And if you, like I write in young adult, but the nice thing about young adult is that it's not really a genre. So I write lots of different genres. And I can build lots and lots of different pieces of content like this. The other thing I'll say, rather than have, for me personally, the choice that I've made, rather than have an author website like derekmurphy.com, which a lot of authors do, I've focused on genre-specific sites. So I have Urban Epics, which is kind of a young adult site, and I also have the YA Shelf, which is it's a joint author site. So what I mean is that anybody can sign up and post content on that site, which means we can get a lot more content quickly. It'll grow faster. We can build the traffic faster. We're all sharing the content we build. So rather than just building a site about me, I've really built sites that allow other people to contribute, which is also good for them. I've also bought some sites that already have, like I said, it takes time to build up your site authority. There's tools where you can test how good your site authority means. It's basically 1 to 100, and that's just how many other relevant links from other high authority sites are linking back to you. So my main site, Creativity, I think it's at like 50 or something, which is pretty strong. Facebook is like 10. Most people start off with 0. It usually takes a couple years to get up to 20 or 30. So I have a pretty strong site with Creativity, but my other sites that I've started are already doing pretty well. The Urban Epic site and the YA Shelf site both get probably altogether like 500 visitors a day. So that's quite a bit of traffic a month, maybe 15 or 20,000 visitors a month. Of course, most of them don't stay, but if I have a strong offer in my sidebar, or if I have a big giveaway, or if I have something going on, there's a chance some of those people will stick around, sign up to my list, or browse for other content, find my books and buy something, or at least sign up on my list to get free books. That's part of your funnel, so you have to get organic traffic. Then you have to make an offer that they sign up to join your list and give them a free book. And then you can start hopefully turning them into fans that will eventually buy your book when you do another book launch. So that's some of the ways that I build long-term organic sales. I'm still building this stuff up. I've only started building a platform for my fiction like a year and a half ago, so I still feel like I'm pretty early. But I'm doing the things that will, like the reason you need to build your own traffic is that otherwise you're just paying for access to other people's platforms, or you're paying for list trades or for advertising or for marketing, and that's expensive, and it works really well, but it can be difficult to make money as a writer if you're spending all your money trying to get the visibility. So this is why long-term organic evergreen content strategies are really important. A lot of authors don't do them. It's actually pretty easy because this is content marketing stuff that works really well for business and online marketing, but most authors don't do any of this stuff, which is why it's actually not that hard. If you Google the stuff that I've tried to do for my books, like if you Google best time travel books for teens, or best mermaid books for teens, or best dark fantasy books for teens, you're probably going to find some of my content on the first page of Google. And I haven't even been around that long. I've only been doing this for like a year. So there's, rather than finding the major New York Times best-selling authors in my genre that I'm competing against, you're going to be finding my content in the first page of Google. And that's a big win for me as an author who started out without a big platform. And it really can be for you too if you build up content this way. it's not that competitive because most people aren't doing it right. Most authors hate blogging because they don't know what to write about, which means that they avoid it and they really aren't getting any traffic to their website, which is why it's not that difficult to pull ahead and show up above everyone else. The other one I'm not sure that I mentioned in previous videos is that Goodreads lists work really well. So you want to make sure you have your book on some Goodreads lists. You can get your fan or your audience to add you to some lists and then upvote you a little bit so that you're visible. So when you search for like best young adult time travel books, one of the top results in Google for almost any genre or topic, best books queries, it's going to show up one of the Goodreads lists. So figure out what those are and see if you can get your book added to those lists, because that is really important. You also want to Google all your keywords, best young adult time travel, romance, whatever. Make a list, like in the first video we talked about keywords. So make a list of your 5 or 10 top keywords, Google that stuff and see what show up, see what other blogs and websites show up, and see what articles show up and see if you can get added. If you can't get added, like if you can usually email them and say, would you add my book to your list? But even if not, sometimes you can just leave a comment. It's pretty rude to say, oh, you missed my book and link to my comment, but sometimes you want to risk being a little bit rude. Take the risk. Sometimes it's better to do that rather than not to do it. I'm a little too polite, so I usually don't do the things that I could be doing. But even if you don't say, would you mind adding my book to your list? You can just say, this is such a great list. I really love these books. You want to leave a nice, helpful, complimentary comment so that they don't delete it. And then when you post a comment, usually you can link your name to your website so that you'll be getting a link from that website that shows up on Google to your own website, which will help your own site authority and rank. Basically, you want to collect a lot of links from relevant sites pointing back to you. So those are some strategies you can use to build up your own site traffic. I feel like I could talk about this stuff for a long time, but the basic point is you can't just rely on Amazon or other people's platforms. If you want to have a stable long-term income, you need to be focused on building content for your own platform and your own traffic, so that like you can still be doing marketing and advertising on Amazon. You'll still be doing everything else, building your email list, doing a big launch campaign, but you can have evergreen organic traffic finding you without doing anything. And it's really important to build that stuff up. And also that like I've been building a lot of content now, but I don't need to continue building content in the future. I'm really focusing on that my first year, because 5 years from now, my content will still be showing up in Google. It will get, the nice thing about doing content on your own site is that it will have cumulative benefits as more and more people find it and link to you and share it. It's going to keep bringing in new traffic, and Google's going to keep prioritizing it for you. So the task for today, like I said earlier, I actually buy some sites that have pretty good site authority. And one of those that I've bought, and I haven't really fixed it up well enough yet, but it's imlovingbooks.com. I bought it as like a general book site. I bought it because it already has a pretty good site authority, which means if you get links from it linking back to your own site or your own content, those links are valuable. They will help boost your own content. And so I've built it so that you can post content and use it for the backlinks. That's basically all it is. It doesn't have a lot of content on it now, so it doesn't get a lot of organic traffic, but the site authority is good, and I will be building it up and cleaning it up and making it look better, so you can post content now and get links back. So I don't think I have it in the workbook. I forget if I put it in the workbook, but I'll write some other content. And on the site, I'm Loving Books, there are some instructions where you can submit your own book. You don't have to post like a review of your own book, but you can post a description with a few reviews from Amazon, a short teaser. You might want to post the first chapter or something like that. Basically, you want to get found, you want to use some keywords in your title, you want to get found. The advantage of posting it on my site is that if you post content on your own site, it may not show up on the first page of Google, but it's more likely to show up higher in search results if it's on my site, which has higher site authority. So you can post any of your books on I'm Loving Books for free, and you can also post an author interview where I'm pretty sure I set it up where I ask some questions and you can just fill out the form and answer the questions and post on the site. And I have a virtual assistant who will just go through and clean it up and make sure it looks good and post it. And the opportunity is basically you're posting content on that site, linking back to your own site. So you can also, what also works really well is keyword anchor links. This is a little bit advanced, but all it means is that, for example, I want my mermaid book, my young adult mermaid book, to show up when people search for young adult mermaid books on Amazon. And one of the ways I can do that is by telling Amazon my book should rank well for that content by posting articles on high authority sites and linking the phrase best young adult mermaid book or best fantasy novel or best thriller or something like that. If I link a keyword phrase straight to my book on Amazon, that can help my Amazon book rank higher. That's something most authors don't do, which is something that can really help. So you can post an article. You don't want to do like too many keyword links, but I would post an article on my site. I would use one keyword link where you use the keyword you want to show up for on Amazon, and link straight to your book on Amazon, ending with the ASIN number. You don't want to use the whole string. I forget if I mentioned this with reviews, but you don't want to use, you don't want to just go to Amazon if you're already logged in and copy the URL to your book, because it's going to include a lot of identifier information which can get your reviews deleted. So you want to just get the URL that ends after the ASIN number. That's the clean link. So when you post content on one of my sites, you could just link a keyword phrase straight to your Amazon page. You can also link a keyword page to your own author website. It's not difficult. You should be able to show up. Like when people search for your name and author, you should show up. That's not difficult. So that's not something you really need to worry about. But you do want to show up for your keyword phrases for books, because people are going to be searching for like best sci-fi books with female protagonists or whatever. You want to show up for those specific, we also say long tail keywords. That just means like if you try to show up for sci-fi books, you won't, because there's too many sci-fi blogs. You won't be able to compete for sci-fi blogs. But if you try to compete for best sci-fi books by female authors set on Mars, that's a long tail specific keyword. There's not very many searches for that keyword, but if you're the only person who makes content, you're going to be the person who shows up for that content. So you want to figure out what your long tail keywords are and post a lot of content around those keywords. And like I said, you want to post content on your blog. You want to post content on other sites that link back to you. You can post content and do an author interview on my site, which is imlovingbooks.com. I've got a lot of sites like this. So if you write paranormal romance, I have a blog that's Edward Cullen Sucks that I'm not really doing anything with. I have the YA Shelf, which is my young adult fiction blog. If you write self-help or spirituality, I have something that I don't even remember that I'm not using that you could post content on. If any of you want to kind of take over one of these sites and post content on it or help me to build it and grow, that would be great. I have too many sites that I don't manage or do anything with, but they all have pretty good site authority. So it would be pretty easy to build it up and to start getting more traffic. So if any of that interests you, that's fine, or just go, I'll leave a link down below. This is kind of my free gift for sticking with me and watching these videos. You can go to unlivingbooks.com and post some content to specifically link back to your own site or to your own Amazon page, either in the bottom in your biography. Usually you want to have like a short bio with a link to your Amazon or a link to your keywords to your website. Basically just using keywords from high authority sites to boost your own content so it'll show up on Google and bring you evergreen traffic. So that's kind of what this video was about. I have some resources that you can use for free. If you need more help, I've made this free video series basically because I'm launching the Guerrilla Publishing course. So the Guerrilla Publishing course is a pretty awesome course by itself, but it just focuses on writing fiction that sells and launching it to #1 bestseller. I've included a few things about, how do you continue to get organic sales long term, but I don't really go into detail on this platform building, content marketing strategy stuff. But I have another course, Reach Your Readers, which is my first course. That course is a free bonus if you buy Guerrilla Publishing this week. And also my next course, which is going to be double the price of my guerrilla publishing course, which will probably come out sometime next year, is going to be even more advanced platform building stuff for authors. And that's also free if you buy the guerrilla publishing book course this week. So I basically, I like to, every time I launch a course, I like to give everything I have already and everything I'm going to do in the future. So it's kind of a way you can pre-buy more expensive courses in the future by getting in early. But also even just a guerrilla publishing course on its own is definitely worth the value. And I'm launching this week. It already has $100 off from what it's going to be. The price is going to go up after. I'm basically launching to my list and my existing audience, but then I'm going to be raising the price to future customers, clients, students who want to join in the program. This is kind of like my beta launch, so the price is lower and you get more bonuses. Once the course launch is over and I start opening it up to a broader audience, a lot of those bonuses and the discount are going to go away. So if that interests you, you can sign up this week. I'm going to share, if you're on my email list, you'll be getting a few more details, information about those courses over the next few days. If not, that's totally fine. I made this free video series to try to help. I hope it's been really helpful. If so, you can share the guerrilla publishing book and workbook because that's also free, and I want to try to share it with lots of authors because I think my content is pretty useful. And I talk about a lot of other book marketing stuff that a lot of people in the indie publishing community just aren't talking about yet, or they're just not talking about in as much detail. So I know my videos are really unpolished and rough, and I tend to ramble and go off on tangents, but I also think they're probably fuller of content. They probably have more actionable content than what most other content is out there on the internet. So I appreciate that I'm serving authors and putting out a lot of content of high value and quality that's helpful to people. At least that's my intention, that's my goal. And I hope that it's been helpful. I had fun making these videos. That's all. I'll post some stuff down below with links so that you can take action on today. This is the last video in my 4-day challenge. I might make another one tomorrow, but I'm not really sure yet. So thanks again for watching. I'll show you real fast where I am because it's kind of awesome. So I'm on Montenegro. I'm at this resort, and it's dark, so you can't really see it. But it's basically like a stop for all these yachts. So like there's this parking lot of yachts, little ones and then big ones. Anyway, Montenegro is a really cool place. I kind of tend to prefer some of the like smaller local places with more history. So I'm going to visit, maybe I'll make a video tomorrow because I'm going to visit one of the smaller, older towns that's a little bit south. This is kind of more like a resort area, which is really nice and comfortable, especially because I'm trying to do this sugar fast right now. So it's nice to have, a spa and comfort and breakfast every day, but it's not normally the kind of place that we would stay. Anyway, thanks for watching. Bye-bye.